Welcome back to the channel where we explore, learn, and theorize about the Marvel Universe. Today we're going to be talking about the two new production companies Disney registered and why it could signal the beginning of production for the Fantastic Four and Blade. If you're new to the channel, I do daily Marvel videos, so be sure to subscribe to never miss out. Now let's get started. Last week, Disney registered two new production companies, Solve Everything Productions and Grass-Fed Productions. Now there's no concrete evidence or announcement from Marvel or Disney to confirm that either of these two production companies were for Marvel Studios projects. However, papers have been filed for production companies for every project announced last summer by Marvel Studios, either at SDCC or D23, with the exception of two, the Fantastic Four and Blade. Now if you're a fan of the comics, especially the Fantastic Four comics, you might be familiar with Jonathan Hickman's run of the Fantastic Four and the phrase solve everything. In October of 2008, Hickman launched his Fantastic Four run with a 3-issue arc, number 570 to 572, titled Solve Everything. And the story, which began earlier that year with Dark Reign Fantastic Four, sees a guilt-ridden Reed Richards build a machine, called the Bridge, which allows him to observe the multiverse in search of solutions to the problems he feels responsible for. However, after the Bridge endangers the team, Sue asks Reed to tear it down, but before doing so, Reed finds that similar bridges have been built on other Earths, and makes contacts with individuals he later comes to understand are his multiversal counterparts, a group known as the Council of Reeds. Mr. Fantastic keeps his promise to the Invisible Woman and tears down the machine, only to rebuild it later and hide it in his room of 100 ideas. Upon firing the bridge back up, Reed meets the Council again and asks them how to solve his 101st question, how to solve everything. And as most of you know, the Illuminati are being set up, which consist of Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, Doctor Strange, Namor the Submariner, Professor X, and Black Bolt. And while most of these characters aren't in the MCU yet, we do know that they're coming. But there's one problem. Iron Man is dead. And while temporary members of the team like Black Panther, or maybe even Doctor Strange could put the Illuminati together, although I don't think that Strange will bring them together, as he's probably going to create the Midnight Suns, if they do adapt Hickman's run of the Fantastic Four, and when Reed Richards appears, whether it be from the quantum realm or somewhere else, he could build the bridge and explore the multiverse after Doctor Strange has already introduced the idea in his second movie, and could possibly reintroduce Iron Man to the MCU, or give us a brand new version altogether. But on the other hand, there's Grass-Fed, and while it's not something as seemingly obvious as the Fantastic Four, the only other movie announced at SDCC 2019 was Blade. And in just about every modern vampire story, vampires look at humans as livestock or cattle. So it's possible that Marvel Studios has capitalized on that notion and chosen Grass-Fed as the reference to the prey of whichever vampires they choose to feature. Now, Marvel Studios usually create these production companies about 12 to 18 months before the expected start of production. So if they follow that pattern here, it means that they'd be looking to film these two projects between August 2021 and February 2022, and continuing down the line of established patterns, whenever possible, Marvel Studios like to start production on their films about 12 to 15 months ahead of when the films are expected in theaters. So a film that goes into production in the August to October 2021 window would be ready for theaters around October 2022. And it just so happens that Disney still has a date reserved for October 7th, 2022 on their slate for an Untitled Marvel Studios film, a date that would be just right for a vampire film. And a film that goes into production around January of 2022 would be ready for theaters around February 2023. And Disney also has a date reserved for February 17th, 2023. And while we all believe that Ant-Man 3 and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 are destined for 2023 as well, Guardians' A-list status and Ant-Man 3's rumored big happenings make it possible that the studio would prefer them as traditional May and July tentpole releases, leaving room in February for something like the family-friendly Fantastic Four. But let me know what you guys think about all this. How will the Fantastic Four be introduced to the MCU? Which story will they adapt? And if the bridge is a viable option for bringing back Iron Man, will 2023 be long enough to not ruin his sacrifice in Endgame? And lastly, does Grass-Fed make sense for Blade, or do you think it's a different movie? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you'll never miss another video. Thanks for watching, and remember to wash your hands and stay safe.